Hi guys, welcome to the latest instalment of the Fat Egg podcast, coming to you live as per Sunday from the Basque Country. I'm really enjoying the culture here in Bilbao, and just off the Bay of Biscay, or Biscaya as I like to call it, in the local dialect. It's Spanish. It's actually an insult to talk to anybody in the Basque Country in Spanish because of the history. They should really know about the history. Esquerra Casco, that is the Basque for thanks very much, pal. And I've been using that quite a lot as I've enjoyed the galleries, the museums. I think it's very important to take in a bit of culture. I'm a bit of a culture vulture myself, as you know, but it's nice to show that the Rangers support, I think, it's got a bit of a reputation, rightly or wrongly, for fan misbehaviour, being a tad uncouth. I think it's quite important to show that when you go on these football trips abroad, it is actually a cultural exchange in every sense of that term. And I'm sorry, Dol, what? No, I'm just looking at my pants. Just getting my pants for the morning. I was just kind of making sure I'm looking my best for you, hen. The morning when we go to no, it's what? No, I'm not talking stuff. No, I'm talking to her Margaret about that cafe we're in, the place we're in. The day we were doing the ciabatta place, and it was all. I hadn't looked at the menu because I was like starving when I sat down. The woman gave us the specials, and I'm like, that sounds brilliant. And I just go to the beef ciabatta, and I'm like, that's the best ciabatta. I'm telling Margaret, I'm not doing the Fitbit podcast. No, we talked about that last Friday, all the way down here, didn't we? We talked the whole journey down. We did talk. I don't mean you were. No, I'm just saying. You tell me that you didn't like me crying on camera on Thursday because of a Fitbit team. I was making a fool of myself and making a fool of the whole family, and I did that enough just with the state of me. No, I wasn't. I wasn't going to forget that in a hurry, but as I was saying, I think I was probably just emotional because I was wanting to make sure I was just worked up because it was really you. I was wanting to make sure that I was going to be up in time the next day to get, because it's your holiday. I know, it was nice of you to let me go to that game because you only get that. You can only get the Easter holidays with the schools. And I know. So I'm just making sure that I'm got all my gear and it's all ironed and all that for the morning for our wee trips. The morning, it is Margaret. I'm talking to her, Margaret. She just was saying to Margaret. She sent me about the ciabatta place we went today. It's in Carnarvon. It's just near the castle. Everywhere's near the castle in Carnarvon. It's just for the main doors, you know. She was saying, I know she was saying that no wonder they could repel invaders. That the prices to get £14.50 to get into see a castle, and there's plenty of castles in Scotland to see, isn't there? So there's no way we're going to go in. And we went to this wee place across the road. I was gasping for me. Just wanted a wee cappuccino, didn't we? Just wanted a wee cappuccino. And they always give the one with the chocolate to me because they assume because of the size of me I'm the one that wants the chocolate. I know, but so cappuccino. I wanted a wee ciabatta as well. I didn't even know I wanted ciabatta this when we talked about ciabattas, and it was delicious. It is the most amazing ciabatta I'd ever tasted in my life. It was beef. It's kind of beef and all different cheeses and that thing. I mean, she was a bit nippy, the woman that she just said, could you just make sure that you take your table. It was just the way she said, could you just make sure that you take your table number when you go and put your order in, then your food will be brought to you. I thought it's maybe just the way they are doing here. They're speaking Welsh as well. Speaking Welsh is I found it a bit rude, but as she come back in, and if the food, I mean, would have said something. We would have said something then, wouldn't we? We would have said something if the food hadn't been so good, and it was mine. This is amazing, and you did the same, didn't you? You the same, I did eat mine a lot quicker than you ate yours. I know. And you got wee crisps on the side. It was Tyrrell's crisps. I thought it was Golden Wonder, didn't I? But I was wrong. It was Tyrrell's, the crisps on the side, and it just amazing, absolutely delicious. Usually I'm into sausage rolls and all that kind of thing. This was lovely, and I was going to say to the woman on the way out, I was going to say, by the way, that is the best ciabatta I've ever tasted. You should do that as a special. And I looked at the menu, and the place, it's all ciabattas. The whole menu. I hadn't even got a chance. When she came here and gave us the specials there was a nice soup. Aye, I can't. What was it? It was some sort of pumpkin or something. Aye, but I didn't have that because the ciabatta did sound nice, and it turned out it was the only. There was about 10 ciabattas on the menu. That's all it was. It was ciabattas, and the only one that was on the menu was beef. That's why it was a special. But it was lovely. It was lovely. Horrible. The weather was horrible. Aye. Fucking me, placing. What was it, Saturday or something like that? It's Saturday. No, I don't mind going for a wee coffees and a wee cake and all that. I quite like a cake and all that. And that's what she wants to do. Go to wee places, get a coffee, get a cake, that kind of thing. And that's fine. And I always just realised it happens all the time. We go to these wee coastal places. I wanted the scone, I wanted the fruit, and I like the fruit scones. She likes cheese scones, so it's fruit scones. They've always got fruit scones, but they've always run out of cheese scones, haven't they? You know, is it? Well, that's probably why you're so thin, dear, you know, because they never have the sweet stuff that you want, but it's always the stuff that she's like, sit down, just you go and get it, I'll get the table for us, dear. So I sat down, you know, and she comes out and it's fucking 10 minutes, just get the scone, got my fruit scone, and she knows I just like butter, you know, and everywhere, especially once you cross the border and all that, it's cream and jam. You go to a posh place, high tea and all that, you know, cream and jam, we're scone, and I've just always like a buttered fruit scone, so I've got the two, you know, you get the wee packs, the wee square kind of packs of butter with the like gold, with green stuff on it, I can't remember what it is. And, but you get just one, because they think you're going to do a wee light bit of butter and then you're going to put jam and cream on it, and I'm saying, say to them, I always say, I've been saying 25 years we've done this, I'm saying, can you just say to them, no need for jam, no need for cream, any chance of an extra butter, so I can butter both sides of the scone quite. And she sits down and there's one bit of butter, you know, and the jam. You know, I don't need the jam. I don't need the jam. Oh, I forgot. Aye, so he did. And I'm sitting and I just said to her, I just says, that is it. You know, I have given up, gone to Bilbao for the second leg of the most important Rangers game of the season, most important Rangers tie of the season. I have rushed away first thing in the morning. I didn't even get a chance to reply to anybody on my wee podcast who had the decency to get back to me on Thursday, Friday morning, checking it was all right, because it was an emotional wreck after that game last Thursday night. Didn't get to watch the Aberdeen game on Sunday because we're on holiday together, aren't we? You know, can I go on it on the laptop that I brought with me? But I'm going to be allowed to watch the second leg against Athletic because we're leaving first thing on the Friday morning, aren't we? So, first competitive game I've missed this season, either watching it on the telly or actually being at the game. That was on Sunday, and here she was. No, it was the Monday. It was Monday because it was after that. And this is the thanks I get. She says, this is the thanks I get for having missed all that stuff, so you can have a nice week away without the Fitbit interfering. But you don't even remember that I want nae jam, nae cream, get me extra butter. And she's like, are you saying something under your breath? I said, no dear, no, I'm just really enjoying the holiday and just saying how much I'm looking forward to touring about this area tomorrow in the car. I looked down at my plate and I saw the butter and I saw the jam. So I kind of have it dry. So I sliced it, big scone, sliced it in two. So I put the butter, spread it about as much as I could on one side, on the bottom side, the top side. I just put a jam, and I saw jam butter, jam, Jamb, you know, jam, like the door jam at Ibrox. And the door jam at Ibrox, and there's a Leon supporter who's been living in London for years, and he's a really lovely guy. He would communicate with me via a website or something I was on. And it was when we played them, the last time we played Leon at Ibrox, no this season, sorry, but back in 2021-2022 Europa League, we played them in the group stages. Remember, they beat us 2-0, our first game of that group stage. And he'd got in touch to find out the likelihood of being able to get a ticket. He was going to come up for London for the game. And I said, I'd be fine, mate. And probably it's not going to be mad, crazy, intense, because we've been put out of the Champions League qualifiers and all that. So you'd probably be able to sneak into the home end, no problem. And he must have, because he got back to me the next day, and he said, "No, sorry, your team. Sorry, we beat you and that, Alec, but it was a nice night. Got a ticket, no bother. But I have to ask you one question. What is that thing where you all hit the door jams, and the way you seem to slap the door when you're leaving the stadium, surrounded by Rangers fans? It was like, were they raging? Were they angry because they've been beaten? Is that something, did you beat up the stadium when you're way out? And I'm laughing, thinking, no, I don't actually know why. I do it. Everybody does it. I thought it was something that just all football fans did. You know, the kind of, this is Anfield sign. I always equate it with that. You know, the this is Anfield in the old Anfield main stand a few years gone now. A few years that's been away, when it was really, the tunnel was down to kind of one end of the main stand. And Archibald Leach main stand, the same guy who made our main stand, and it was down to kind of down to towards the Anfield Road end, wasn't it? The old Liverpool tunnel, and it would kind of right down steps and then up steps, but in the way down there was a kind of overhang, and it had "This is Anfield," just a simple plaque, "This is Anfield," and the Liverpool crest. Oh, Vinnie Jones famously spat on it before scoring a fantastic winner, has to be said, into the Kop for Wimbledon, the Crazy Gang years. But the players, Liverpool players would touch it. And this is their heyday, you know. Souness and Dalglish and Sammy Lee, these kind of guys, they just try to touch the. Sammy Lee might struggle to reach it, but it always reminds me of that. Just I don't know what it is, so you just automatically touch the door jams at Ibrox as you leave. I'm sorry, I put my hand up there like that. And I said, I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, but I think it's about continue. It's like I'm coming back. We're going to be back. I says, no, it's not. It wasn't rage. There would be no doubt fans that were angry last night, but I feel more inclined not to do it. Sometimes I get a bit self-conscious about it after we've lost, because you know it can be all-encompassing rage at Ibrox if we've lost to anybody in any game, no matter the situation. And we're on a record run of not winning at Ibrox right now. Like the longest in our entire history. I think at any Ibrox, either of the Ibroxes we've played at, of no winning at home or losing at home, it came to an end in really dramatic fashion, typical of Rangers. They go on this losing run. Was it 5 games lost on the trot? Ibrox, first time in our history that we lost 4 games on the trot. It goes to 5 games against Hibs, and then we have Athletic Club, but we have a man sent off after 13 minutes basically against a team that's 4th in La Liga, and they go down to 9 men before the end of the game, and we draw. We hold them to a draw, and it's just typical. That's the way we break the losing run. But all these games, St Mirren beating us leagues, Queen's Park especially beating us in the Scottish Cup. Who do we have? Motherwell beating us well, Hibs beating us at Ibrox the other day. I'm just kind of, I do it, and I'm quite tall in it, so I can kind of get away with it in a kind of, just a kind of disinterested fashion. It's not too noticeable in case anybody wants to give it. Somebody is forced to define that it's a sign of affection and say, nobody's ever, I've had somebody once, just once, many seasons ago, shouting at me from way up the back of the Govan stand for applauding the players after we'd get beat or drawn or had a bad, what are you clapping them for? I'm a Rangers supporter, that's what I'm, what a real go back at them. But sometimes you think maybe just hitting the door jams in itself, if people know this, they feel this is a sign of affection. You see Rangers fans doing it all the time. I'm in the main stand. I thought maybe somebody sees me doing this after a bad result, they're going to shout something at me, but people don't care. I come out the main stand at Ibrox and I'll go up a few stairs, quite a few stairs to get to the vomitory, and then I'll go down a few wee flights onto a kind of mezzanine concourse, and then I go down the 2 big old concrete kind of luxury liner type flights of stairs to get down onto the ground level again to take me onto Edmiston Drive. And I think it may be because of the fire escape signs, the health and safety regulations, that these signs have to be green and white, or it's green with a kind of luminous yellow, so they light up in the case of a fire. But I don't know if it's because of that. The blue seems more pristine. It accentuates the colour you love the most in your life, and whether you lose or draw, there's just that wee moment in the way out. You think, I'm coming back though, and I think it's just a way of saying Jurio. Jurio for now, but I'll be back. Ibrox, I'll be back. And then I was thinking about this. I said the jam and the butter, the jam, and the only other word I can think of with that JAMB is enjambment. Enjambment, the term for a run-on line in poetry. You get your stanzas, you get your quatrains, whatever. And at the end of the line, there's no punctuation, there's no comma, there's no full stop, and the content of the line just carries on. The sense of it carries on into the next line. It's a run-on line, it's a continuation, it's something that keeps going forward, and that's what it is. Just it's like a holiday. This run in Europe is like a holiday, and everybody thinks, so many Rangers fans, and certainly the rest of Scotland wants to be at that point where they can just go, Rangers' season was a total disaster, and we've had disasters in this season, there's no doubt about it, particularly the defeat to Queen's Park, and for Rangers to come out of a domestic season with no domestic trophies is always pretty bad. But it worries our enemies, and I think it confuses a lot of Rangers fans, although they're going to be quite happy to go along with it, that it's not that black and white. It doesn't work like that. We can end up having, arguably already have had, the most spectacular season of any club from Scotland this season because of what we've done in Europe, and if we were to continue it, if we're to slap that door jam, if it's to go on, this holiday we've got in Europe is going to become something more serious than a holiday. It already is. We're at the quarter-final stage, folks. And I am, this is your fat ache. I'm many miles from home, certainly many miles from Ibrox. I've crossed 2 borders, but I'm absolutely nowhere near Bilbao, nowhere near the Basque Country, and I'll be watching the game on a laptop on Thursday night. So I've not had a chance, because I'm on holiday with my beloved. I've not had a chance to check any other podcasts. I've not been checking into the Rangers Review. I've not even been keeping up with the basic headlines on my phone. It's been the holiday that we both need. So I won't be going into any great detail in this podcast, and hopefully won't be going into too great a length. It's just me checking in to say hello. Thanks to everybody. I'll just a wee quick short video on Sunday afternoon there, just to check in and say hello to everybody. And thanks to everybody who got in touch after that. And my apologies, as I say, for that in the podcast. When I was crying my eyes out like a big wane after the game last Thursday against Athletic at Ibrox, getting quite emotional for various reasons. Just more than anything else, the intensity of the game and the sheer pride I was feeling in those Rangers performances after a long, basically an unmatched stretch of games standing outside Ibrox going, well, that was crap, so let's try and polish that turd. And suddenly to have something to be so proud of, I think it just kind of got to me. But also I think a lot of Rangers fans take a lot of persuading that us doing well in Europe is as important as doing anything domestically. And I think we've been caught up in the slaggings we get from Celtic fans because they are winning everything domestically. So it suits them not to be appreciating what's been done in Europe. But Europe is the big boys' playground, and that's where we want to be, and we're excelling and doing fantastically well. A preview pod coming to you in association with Gersnet. Check out Gersnet Sunday night. It was Craig, it was Stuart, and it was Ben, so they had plenty to talk about, past and future. What happened at Pittodrie that day and what was going to happen this coming Thursday against Athletic Club in Bilbao. So check that out, folks. I'm coming to you in association with that, and I'm coming to you in the sponsorship. I'm also sponsored by DVDs, books. You go away on holiday. I'm so used to going to these holiday lets, holiday cottages. It's something we do once a year at some point, maybe October holiday, maybe the Easter holiday that we're doing just now, maybe the summer holidays. But we'll usually come somewhere in mainland Britain for a week in a wee holiday cottage or something, and there's always DVDs, always books, there's always games. In case you turn up and you're not getting it. I mean, this one we're in just do is go to smart TV. The area was no connected. I can't get live television, but you can get, Apple TV, which I don't have, in the house. What else has it got? Disney Plus. So we've been checking out all the stuff that we can't watch in the house because we're too stingy to buy that for our package, our Virgin Media package. But you're thinking, you've got all this stuff, and I'm a hoarder. I'm a total hoarder myself. And I've got all this stuff in the house. The 9 in a row DVDs. The videos, so the VHS videos, DVDs, who am I kidding? I feel as if DVDs are the future still. CDs, I'm just getting used to. Never mind having everything on your phone. But Follow was the first video I had. That was probably Betamax. I think my dad got it off a guy in the Boozer when we first got a VCR. That would be early 80s, kind of 83-ish, and I would be 13, 14, and Rangers at that point in time, mid-80s or early 80s, had been terrible for years, and we're going to be terrible for another couple of seasons. So it was really good for me to see that the Follow video was fantastic, just outlining the club's history, talking to proper club legends, and just reminding me. The first time I was seeing images of what my gran would talk about, sometimes my dad would talk about, to tell me, what Rangers were supposed to be like, things I was reading about, and it was fantastic. But then if you're of my kind of era, 86, 87, you get the championship winning video, sponsored by McEwen's Lager, I think. Davy Cooper at the end, it's a kind of magic. It's lovely. Had that, and then obviously we didn't win the league in 88, then you had the 9 in a row every season. Up to then, I've still got them. In the wee room that I usually do my podcast from, and I've got a VCR player wrapped in its own cables up in the loft somewhere. So I've not looked at it for years. But I consider myself a hoarder. But I've realised coming down here, the kind of all the books I've got, and all the it's the same in these holiday homes. The books, it's like they're kind of relics almost. They're kind of artifacts of what you should be interested in. You get your Kindle to look at, but you don't need paperbacks, you don't need hardbacks. You've got a Kindle with you, you're bringing it on holiday, but you've got these, it's a kind of a remnant, a reminder of what it used to be, what a book should be. It's a bit like if you imagine having your booze, I think particularly get bottles of wine that you like, imagine there was no label on it or anything like that. It shouldn't really count. The taste should be all that it's about, but it doesn't work out like that. You need the packaging more than you would like to realise. It's more a part of it than even somebody who thinks they're as savvy to the evils of advertising men as myself. I really, you need that stuff. You need the packaging. I need that wee, the picture of the angel over the tyne, the thing they hang the Newcastle jerseys on, the angel of the north. On my IPA, my hazy IPA, with lemon. They all got an infusion, don't they? An infusion, a session IPA. Northern Monk Faith Brewery. I'm thinking, how pretentious, all that artisanal crap. But I wouldn't buy it otherwise. I would not buy it otherwise, even being so sunny. And I feel that's what it is with so much of the stuff that we've got, so much of the stuff that we hoard. And I am that guy. I don't have the turn-ups to my jeans. I don't have the braces. I don't have the big sideburns anymore. I certainly, I consider myself a anti-hipster, but I'm the other guy. I'm the other guy who's got the bushy eyebrows and the hair coming out his nose, who's saying, what about when the technology stops? What about when the electricity cuts out? What about the internet goes down? You're going to need your hard copies. You're going to need to go analogue. You're going to need backup. You're going to need your paper stuff, aren't you? And yet I've let myself down. And now Virgin Media are going to take away my memories. The whole run to Seville 21-22, I've got it all on my TiVo. TiVo, you call it, that thing where you record stuff. But there's no hard copy. I don't have DVDs. I don't have videos. I can't parade. I can't put it up on a shelf in my living room or anything like that. It's just all on and there's now an upgrade to, if you're a Virgin Media user, you'll have the same thing. You've got to upgrade your box and you're going to lose everything that's in there. There's some Shakespeare, a Shakespeare season in BBC 4 that I haven't watched a single episode of. That was great intentions to become more intellectual, and it never really happened. But all these Rangers games against Braga, the quarter final, the last time won the quarter final Europa League, the game against RB Leipzig, of course, the semi final, the game against Red Star Belgrade, the game against Dortmund, home and away. I've got them all, whether I was at the game or not. They're all there, recorded, and I kept them all. I do that. I keep all the games I can through the course of a season. I'll just delete them as we go out of a competition. But that's it. I've got to maybe watch them all one more time, and then it's got to go. We've got to upgrade the box, and Virgin Media are taking it all away. I don't have hard copies. The ticket stubs this season, I stopped buying matchday programmes decades ago, because I thought they're far too expensive, and all I really need, it was going to stop me affording to be able to go to games if I was having to buy a match programme as well. So I thought, well, all I really need is a ticket stub, the paper ticket stub, as a souvenir of the game, just to know. But then that stopped as well, and it was good being a Rangers supporter because every game had when I stopped buying the match programmes, iBooks had got to the point where it was so full all the time. It was just after the Soonest Revolution that you were going to need to have a paper ticket, so you always had a souvenir. And then it's all on the smart card, the regular games, and even the European games, which are the ones I really wanted a souvenir of, because you keep your smart card and you know how many seasons you used that for. That's a solid souvenir. They've all been taken away as well, and it's a QR codes you've got there on your phone. That's come in this season. It's caused major hassles getting into our European games, but I don't even have a printer. The printer's not working, and printers are becoming as unnecessary as scanners now are, since you can take photographs on your phone of anything. But I would want to have printed off my tickets to keep a paper receipt, a paper copy. You just never get around to it. I need to keep emptying my phone of the downloads so I can upload my pods. So I need new memories. I need another European one. I need this run to go further. But I have no souvenirs of it already. And I think the whole thing is, it just makes you realise it's Walter Benjamin, the greatest member of the Frankfurt School, as far as I'm concerned, although he was the least involved probably in the Frankfurt School, and the least Marxist in the Frankfurt School. Or at least neo-Marxist, he would talk about, how didn't he get to be a neo-Marxist, because didn't he get through the Second World War, but what is it, what's the essay he wrote about the work of art in the age of mechanical reproduction, and it's Liebhaberwert. He talks about Liebhaberwert, basically sentimental value. This the love having kind of worth, the worth of an item, the worth of a work of art or a postcard that shows a work of art on it. He was talking about these kind of things. They have a sentimental value attached to them, just having that object. But there's no object to take these. It's about having the games. It's about being at the game. It's about Rangers getting through these rounds and giving you the memories. How often have I watched the game against Leipzig at Ibrox, which is the greatest game of my life? The last time we were in a European semi-final, and we stand on the cusp of another European semi-final. I've watched it a few times, yeah, but I haven't watched the whole game through more than 3 times. I would think mostly it's just the goals. You know, that opening spell where we get the 2 goals, and then I always watch RB Leipzig's equaliser. It's a fantastic goal, just to remind you what we're up against. And then, of course, John Lundstrom's winner on the night and the scenes afterwards. I watch all that kind of stuff, but mostly it's all in here. You can't spend every day watching these games. It's all in here, and the highlights will always be on YouTube or whatever. But we need more of that. We need more kind of hard copies in our heads and in our hearts. I can't get enough of it. And Sunday there, I had to go on holiday with my wife. Basically, we come down on the Friday after the game, and the Thursday night I get 0 sleep because it was so exciting. And then we're driving all the way down here. And I'm not going to tell you exactly where we are. But I'll give you a clue. The first winning goalkeeper I saw keeping a clean sheet at Hampden, away goalkeeper at Hampden, was born in the town that I'm currently in. And he also won the Cup Winners' Cup as a goalkeeper, and playing in a team from the same city that he won the Cup Winners' Cup in, but it's not his hometown. Another guy from his hometown was winning 2 European Cups. One, he played in one of the finals, and he was an unused sub in the other. So, and he played that same night at Hampden when this team came and won at Hampden and kept a clean sheet. It was the first time I ever saw Scotland losing a World Cup qualifier in the flesh. So that's a serious clue to any football buffs out there. But that's the town I am currently in, and it's fantastic. I'm having great fun. But on Sunday, of course, I'm all over my phone, and it's Wi-Fi. There's always dodgy Wi-Fi's in these holiday homes, these cottages, these holiday lets. And the phone was struggling to update in here. Never mind once I go outside, and onto my provider, which is it's O2. It's a bit crap as well. This phone's crap. But I saw the team. I saw the team. Obviously, I knew the team before I stepped out into the sunshine on Sunday. And what I mean is, I saw the team for this coming Thursday, because we don't have the full picture. We don't have the actual image of the team that Rangers will field this Thursday night, but we saw the negative. We saw the negative on Sunday there. It was almost like, if you're playing today, you won't be playing on Thursday. Not strictly speaking true, of course, despite the basic mistake by Liam Kerr. I don't know if it's a basic mistake. The free kick was hit pretty hard. He did get a hand to it. Maybe it just looks worse because he's done so well just to get anywhere near it. But I think that's just good in keeping Liam Kelly's feet on the ground, so to speak, although maybe his feet were too fixed on the ground at the time for the goal we conceded from that free kick on Sunday. But a monster night against Athletic Club in the first leg at Ibrox, so that's maybe got him a bit grounded. I don't think he'll be getting dropped for this game in Bilbao. And Tav having to come on, of course, after 20 minutes, just doesn't get a break, does he? Doesn't get a break at all. Finlay Curtis and Ross McCormack playing as kind of wing backs in that kind of midfield with the 3 to compensate for the 3 centre halves. Very, very strange stuff, but oh man, it was absolutely hilarious. It was. I don't know if you've done this. This is a podcast mostly about being on holiday when Rangers are playing, mostly having to be away from Rangers. See the game against Hamilton Accies. We played a friendly against Hamilton Accies this season. It was the very first game, strictly speaking, that we played this season, and it was behind closed doors. It was a closed doors game at Auchenhowie. I think we beat them 5-2 or something. And of course, Ibrox was out of commission for the first few months of the season, so we didn't have any home friendlies. But that, strictly speaking, is a home friendly, because it's up at the training centre in Auchenhowie, and I don't know, does that, because we're playing, does that count, me not having been there and not having seen that? Does that mean I can't see every home game this season, or if it's a closed doors game, well, I couldn't have seen it, so it doesn't, because the draw was made, of course, not the draw, but the fixtures came out yesterday for the post-split fixtures in the SPFL Premiership for the remaining 5 games of the season. And apologies, last Thursday in my excitement I was making out that Rangers would be playing all 5 of them at home. We've got 3 at home. I was just trying to make a point of it. There's only one more game we can possibly add to the rest of our fixtures, and that would be the semi-final. And then we want to add another. We'd obviously want to add, it'd be 2 games you'd be adding, but in terms of home games, there can only be 1 more in Europe this season. So we're going to have 3, as it turns out. So maximum home games we can have left this season is going to be 4 if we can get through tomorrow night. So get through in Thursday night. But one of the games is Celtic. Of course, we've got Celtic in the first weekend in May at Ibrox. I knew it was going to happen. If you've been watching this pod all season, I was going on about the fact that my wife has got me a beautiful present for Christmas. It's something I've always wanted. One thing I talk about almost as much as Rangers is Samuel Beckett's Crap's Last Tape, a play by Samuel Beckett. I've seen a few productions in the flesh, but there's Gary Oldman, who's an actor that I really like. He's going to be doing Crap's Last Tape, and it's a one-man play. He's going to be doing it in York that weekend, so my wife had got me tickets for that, and straight away I was like, we'll be playing Celtic at Ibrox that weekend, and that could be the day we win the league. Next day, Boxing Day, we get beat off St Mirren at Paisley. She's like, "Are you sure about it?" I said, "I will be fine. I just book a hotel for York for that weekend." So the plays on the Saturday night. I've got a hotel booked for Friday night and the Saturday night, so I don't know if I'm going to have to leave York at 4 o'clock in the morning on the Sunday, or whether just to drive straight up after having watched a play that you want to kind of sit back and enjoy it. So would that count? The only reason I'm really gone is because I want to complete a whole season having been to every Rangers home game. I've been to every home game we've had this season because we didn't play many home friendlies, so that was a lot easier. But I'm including Hampden here, but we had this game against Hamilton Accies, so maybe if that doesn't count, if I can't have every home game this season, I'll no bother going to the Celtic game because I can't complete the whole season yet. Anyway, that's something to let me know. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think I'm staying right now. On Sunday, I didn't get to see the game until watching BBC iPlayer back at the flat, back at this holiday on the Sunday night after a right good day out, and I was watching the highlights on Sports Scene, and it was beautiful. It was absolutely gorgeous. I've done this before. The last time, it was 9 seasons ago. It was first season back in the top flight, 2016-17, 8 seasons ago, or 9 inclusive. We went to, there'd been, people had died, basically, so it was, we're needing to go for a wee break here and there, and we went to Linlithgow. Had a night in Linlithgow, a couple of nights in Linlithgow, just to get away somewhere. And it was when Joe Dodu scored the 2 late goals against Partick Thistle at Firhill. I mean, I can walk to Firhill, it's closer than Ibrox to my house, where we actually stay. But here it was in Linlithgow, and we were 1-0 down, and I'm walking about the streets of Linlithgow and going to cafes and things like that. I was just checking the phone all the time. And we went to Linlithgow Castle, and it was just, I was in the cafe and we equalised, to what, about the last 20 minutes or something. And then as I'm walking into the doors at Linlithgow Castle, I refreshed the phone and it just went full time. Partick Thistle 1, Rangers 2. Yes, that's lovely. And then much later that same season, the April, we went up to Pittodrie. We went to play Aberdeen at Pittodrie. And it was, we were getting absolutely pounded. We were in Scarborough. We had a wee holiday light in Scarborough. We didn't want to get too far from home because, as I say, there was a bit of family trauma at the time. So we just nipped into Scarborough, and this lovely wee kind of flat in Scarborough, wee back garden, beautiful day. So she just sat at the back reading, and I sat in the house listening to the radio. That was the only access I could get. I was listening to the Rangers at Pittodrie on the radio, and it was, Aberdeen hit the bar, Aberdeen hit the post, Aberdeen all over. Rangers can't get on the ball. It's a great saves left, right and centre. Rangers hanging on by the skin of their teeth. And it was ping, pang, pong. 2 goals for Kenny Miller, 1 for Joe Dodu. That's it. Rangers won 3-0. Like, we were pounded all game. It was total daylight robbery. It was Kashinya was the manager. So I mean, that seems to be that any time I'm on holiday and I can't see Rangers playing. I don't watch it on the telly, but I'm tempted. We have this kind of daylight robbery thing where we really piss off the locals. I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have just ignored the game altogether. On Sunday we might actually get the win, but same scenario. And I saw the highlights and the goals. You know all about it. I'm not going to try and review a game that I didn't even see the whole game. I've got it recorded to watch when I go back up the road this weekend, but I didn't realise we were wearing the white strips. I didn't realise we were going with white strips. We were going with the home shorts, but with the away top and the away socks, and we looked beautiful. And we looked like, I'm from Ardrossan, a seaside town, and we're up in Aberdeen, and we just looked like 9 magical seagulls running about that pitch, doing what we could to shit all over the fish suppers of, it's every Aberdeen supporter in the stadium and every Celtic supporter in the country. And I know it's pathetic, and I know it's the standards at Rangers. You're just happy to delay Celtic winning the league. How far your standards have fallen. We're looking at getting into a European semi-final on Thursday night, so I don't really think so. It was funny, and I had that same. It was a terrible signal outside. I'm on my phone, and it felt as I just this whole thing of it was like we were shitting on 2 fish suppers being bought, one being bought by the Aberdeen support, one being bought by the Celtic support at the point of sale when they've put on their own salt and vinegar. They can smell it. They've been queuing up, smelling it in the shop, and they just as they're about to eat, flop, slop, 2 piles of 9 seagulls shitting all over their fish suppers. The seagull, Chekhov's the seagull. It's a literary reference here. This is, with Neil Ryan, I've gone on holiday by mistake. We've gone on holiday by mistake. I've done the same thing. We've gone on holiday by mistake in a week where Rangers have got this magnificently huge game in Bilbao, and with Neil, played by Richard E. Grant, and with Neil and I, he phones his agent and he gets offered the part of, what's his name? Constantine in The Seagull. I'm not going to understudy Constantine. He gets offered to understudy him. I'm not going to understudy anybody, especially that little pimp. And what is it with pimps? I didn't know Tatawi was a pimp. I didn't know until tonight. It was Barzini all along, and you've got Lester in Casino. He's a pimp as well, played by James Wood. Those great films have always got a pimp involved, but Chekhov, and there is a film of Chekhov's The Seagull, but it's the Chekhov's gun. You just know that something's going to go off, something's going to happen, and I kind of wanted Rangers to lose. I saw the team that we put on the park, I saw the team that we'd started, we'd fielded that day, and I thought, well, that's no disgrace, that's a reserve team basically. And everybody knows why we're doing it. We've got a much bigger concern on Thursday, and the only 2 things that can go really, really go wrong for Barry this season, or what is the part of the season that he's been given to managers, is if we lose heavily in Bilbao, if we take a hammering in Europe and it's a proper humiliation, and that can still happen on Thursday night, or also if Celtic win the league at Ibrox. And it doesn't really, obviously these things, it's a technicality where Celtic actually officially seal the title, but we know how much those technicalities mean. We know how much it means to both sides. And it's 1 each just now. They won it at Ibrox in 66-67 when we got to a European final, as well as them. And we won it at Parkhead by actually beating them. They drew us at Ibrox in 66-67, but we won it at Ibrox in 1998-99, won 3-0. That was phenomenal. First of my favourite league game, my favourite ever Rangers league game. So it means a massive thing. And where it gets picked up. So that's something that can still go wrong for us. And a part of me thought, well, if we lose, Celtic had won 5-1 the previous day against Kilmarnock. If we lose to Aberdeen at Pittodrie, haven't picked the reserve to be, that'll be fine. And I think it's because I'm not watching the game, and it's the first competitive game I haven't seen as this season, as the game's been played. But then you see the scores coming in, and we're 2-0 down, and then we're down to 10 men, and we're 2-0 down at half time. And it's Jesus Christ, I can't have them baiting us, the Aberdeen fans getting in about us, and the Aberdeen fans, feeling just did the last time we got 2007-2008 were a European final, and the league was Celtic's, as we lost at Pittodrie. So I thought, no, we can't have that happen again. It's totally humiliating. I thought, this is terrible. But I was out, my wife anyway, and the reason, you're like, how can you shit on a fish supper at the point of sale when you buy a fish supper in a fish and chip shop? Not if it's at the end of a pier. It's one of the wee kind of stalls you go to, because I'd just got myself, for my lunch, I'd got myself a wee fish supper, and like Chekhov's gun, if you drop a chip, it dropped a chip. And if that's the seagulls come in and they get, it's a nightmare, it's an absolute nightmare. But I was compensated for the fact that at the same time I was refreshing my phone, and it went, so we pulled a goal back, and it was like VAR chopped off. You get the updates for BBC Sport, and it was, we pulled one back, it's 2-1, that's no so bad. Oh, VAR, that's been overturned. Oh, for Christ's sake. It's still 2-0, and then I could see that it was 2-1, and then I looked at my phone, 87 minutes, Nisbet 3-1, and I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake. They could probably bang another couple in injury time, and that's us, the Aberdeen fans, will be taunting the Celtic. Maybe it's as well to be out of the country when Celtic are celebrating. But I'm in a Celtic part of the country, so maybe there'll be a few folks celebrating down here as well. And as I'm refreshing my phone, and I just couldn't, the signal wasn't working. I'm trying to eat this fish supper, and I dropped a chip, so it was the seagulls were all over us as well. And I just eventually refreshed the phone, thinking we're getting to find out if it got any worse than 3-1, and it just came up 2 each, final score. What? And for a second, for like a nanosecond, I went, oh, that's daft. We should have made sure we lost the league today so they can't win it at Ibrox. But as I was thinking that, they segue into just sheer joy. I got a taste, without even watching the game, of what it would be for Rangers to get hammered. It didn't happen. I'm sorry, folks, I'm absolutely rambling. My name's Alec Anderson. Kelly, can you handle this? Michelle, can you handle this? Beyonce, can you handle this? I don't know if these Athletic Club Bilbao can actually handle us on Thursday. Maybe we can't handle them. I'm not really sure. I think everything just seems to be up in the air. With Barry Ferguson's Rangers, the madness continues. It is quite insane. You know, it's an equaliser, say it's pissing off all the Celtic supporters and all the Rangers, all the Aberdeen supporters in the stadium, and it was beautiful. The kind of coup de grace, or the pièce de résistance, was no coup de grace, we drew the game, was the fact that Dessers hits the post. It's the very last kick of the ball, and Dessers hits the post, and you saw Aberdeen fans getting a taste of, he's going to equalise this bad ball. Oh, he's hitting, ha ha ha. They get up out their seats, and before they've sat down, Giannis has put it into the top corner. When they get a taste and they get the relief of it not happening, then it happened. That's lovely. And they were joined by a lot of other Aberdeen supporters, in fairness, getting up out their seats. It was delicious. It was as delicious as the fish and chips. It was getting down my throat in the sunshine of the pier here. But this is Barry's Rangers. It's kind of he makes brave in-game changes versus why does he have to make in-game changes in the first place? What's up with starting 11s? Why does he keep getting them wrong? The constant comebacks from kind of 2 down demonstrating character, but also if you've got that much character, why are you constantly going 2 down in the first place? He's a manager who I think in the bad moments we think he's only got the job because of his family connections as well, the kind of legacy of the Fergusons at Rangers, but also because of his playing career. But nevertheless, he's won at Parkhead, and he's just put Jose Mourinho out of Europe, you know, in his interim management, and he's held Athletic Club at Ibrox with 10, then 9 men. We keep getting red cards, you know. We've conceded 2 straight goals in every domestic game he's been in charge. Every domestic game Barry's been in charge, what's that, 6? We've conceded 2 straight goals. But we're unbeaten away from home under Barry against anybody. I think it's like 4. We've drawn 3. So we've won 3 and drawn 1 domestically away from home, and we've won in Istanbul. It's every time you think you've got him on something that's no good enough, you're like, but he's done that as well, and vice versa. It's completely balanced. It's complete feng shui. Unbeaten away from home, domestically, Barry, quarterfinals of the Europa League. And we're all square going into the second leg, and Celtic still haven't been allowed to win the league. You know what I mean? They're not going to win the league before the split. They didn't win the league before the split, which again doesn't matter. They're going to win the league anyway. But psychologically, I think that's a nice thing. It's as much as Barry can manage when the state the club was in. When he took over, the league was already gone. He's unlikely to get the job. I think he's unlikely to get the job. Most of his squad is on its way out this summer. But all the money in the world isn't going to buy Parag Marath and Andrew Kavanagh this proximity to a European semi-final. And I know these guys, they might talk about sentimentality and they really fell in love with Leeds United and fell in love with British football and that kind of thing. But I think basically it's all about, upscaling, selling players up the way, buying at a reasonable price and then selling these guys on and using European football as a shop window to sell those players and to make that money through Rangers and using Rangers' constant access to European football. But it's not to do with the SPFL Premiership. They're no thinking that the SPFL Premiership is a money-making machine. It's all about Rangers, European access. It's about the fact we're in Europe all the time. I'm recording this as Aston Villa, etc., are in the quarterfinals, second legs in the Champions League. But it gets to this stage of European competition, it's the fact there's hardly anybody left. You're down to the last 8 in each competition. Rangers won't get as much publicity as PSG and Aston Villa and what have you, Bayern Munich and Inter, but it's a lot of publicity you get because you're left standing. There's a lot of interest for different countries. Chelsea, getting plenty of coverage, and they're in a lesser competition. They're on their way to winning that probably. Real Betis maybe going to get to their first ever European final through that same Conference League, but it's a tertiary competition. We're in the secondary competition just now, so it's a phenomenal achievement. And I think this is what the 49ers Enterprises envisioned for Rangers when they were showing an interest in us, that they could use this platform, a constant European. And the fact that we've been to a final before, we've shown that we're a European team. We do well in Europe, but I don't know, whatever they spend in this team during the summer, are they ever going to get this close? Are they going to get this close again to a European semi-final with a club that comes from Scotland? If almost if they try to do it too deliberately, if they try to win the league and all that as well, I don't think they're going to get as close as they've managed to get between their kind of released from his position Belgian and thanks for stepping in, but it was always going to be temporary. Former club playing legend. I think Barry's playing them the Seattle Fish Market video at half time. We lose 2 goals. Even we beat Celtic at Parkhead, we never went 2 goals down. We're never behind in that game, but they scored 2 consecutive goals to bring us, from Rangers winning 2-0 back to 2 each before we scored the winner. It's quite unbelievable, but I think, we're kind of convincing Robin Proper and Clinton and Ciala, guys like that, they always really want to be a hairdresser. He's getting them in the dressing room at half time and telling them, don't be a drain, be a radiator. And they go out in the second half and they revive things. It's quite unbelievable what Rangers are doing under Barry, and both good and bad. It's quite unbelievable, but I need new memories. I want more European memories to top up the other ones. Athletic Club, so they beat Rayo Vallecano 3-1 at the weekend, and I think that's the first time in 4 games they've scored, but the first time in 5 games that they've conceded. I think something like that. Bit of a double-edged sword there. And they have the small matter of playing Real Madrid in the Bernabeu on Sunday night, whereas we've got a free weekend. As we know, we can put. They might need to look down their nose at us. They might need to take us a bit lightly, because we have to prioritise. Villarreal are right up their arse. They've got a game in hand. They're 6 points behind them. In 5th place, Villarreal. Athletic Club in the last. I don't know if the games tonight can possibly change the number of clubs that will access the Champions League directly from La Liga. I know it changed for the English Premier League last week, but I don't know if that can change again. But at this point in time, Athletic Club are in 4th place, which is the last automatic Champions League qualification spot in La Liga, and Villarreal are chasing them down, 6 points behind them with a game in hand, as I say. So it's a derby. It's the Clásico Viejo, the old derby for Athletic Club in the Bernabeu. They beat them at home. They beat them in San Mamés, the Athletic Club. They beat Real Madrid in San Mamés earlier this season. Maybe they're having a magical season where they'll win in Europe and they'll beat Real Madrid home and away. They'll win their first ever European trophy, the first European trophy of the Basque Country, and they'll beat Real Madrid home and away the same season. I don't know, but we could get hammered. And I think the thing I've always talked, I think I was talking about with Barry's management, I've talked about this before, and it was before the last couple of games. It was exactly 2 goals a game. Our average was a concession of 2 goals a game, and then we went to Istanbul and only conceded 1 goal. He was losing 2 goals every game, exactly 2 goals every game, whether it's winning 4-2 at Kilmarnock or getting beat 2-1 at home by Motherwell, getting beat 2-0 at home by Hibs. But we went to Istanbul and we won 3-1. So we only conceded 1 goal. And I thought, and then Fenerbahce came to Ibrox in the next game and they beat us 2-0. And it's like, he's got to get that average back. There's going to have to be a game where we lose 3 goals. Went to Dens Park, lost 3 goals, but we scored 4. So we won the thing, but it kept the average on exactly 2 goals conceded per game. And Barry's, it's now his 9-game reign. Now a 9-game reign. This is going to be his 10th game, the second leg against Athletic Club this Thursday. But we drew 0-0 with Athletic Club last week. He lost 2 goals at Pataudry, so it's going to have to be, we need to concede 4 in a game for Barry to get back on his 2 goals a game average. And the thing is, I can see us conceding 4 at Athletic Club at San Mamés and still going through on penalties. You know, the way we're playing just now, you can see us doing the job. Listen, folks, I'm not going to go into team predictions and all that. We've had Barry's press conference. I'm not going to get a chance to watch it. I'm really just checking in with you. And if you're desperate for a long rant and raving podcast from me, well, this is another one, I suppose, while I go and try and enjoy my holiday. But thanks, folks, for everybody getting back. I'm sorry I've not had a chance to get back to anybody, and I thought rather than sitting and just try to churn out a few replies to people online on the podcast, on the reply section below these pods, I would just do another quick video summing up how I'm feeling, as tense as the rest of yous, and it's high stakes, it's black and white, and I think that's the way this team likes it. On Thursday night, our season ends, or it continues in the most magical way possible. Just hit that door jam, guys. Just slap that door jam, and the way out the door, Rangers just continue the season, keep the season going on, just carry on line into the next round of European competition again. And guys, I'll see you on the other side. Cheers, troops.